Why are you making an engine?
I think we're all kind of making it for different reasons.
So the main motivation behind the project in general was when I first started looking around for resources about what was out there, there wasn't too many approachable sources. Obviously there was the game engine architecture book, but that's over 1,000 pages long and not super inviting for newcomers.
This field needs kind of more visibility. It needs to, quote unquote, be demystified.
The most important thing we want people to get is game engines are not black magic.
Making a game engine that engine work is just like the dream of all the gameplay programmers.
And so what I noticed in my first few weeks of working with the team is that there was a lot of passion and a lot of really compelling stories going on within their work on the engine. And I wanted to try and capture that. I really wanted to look into that and see how this really interesting thing that's so technical and nebulous could be communicated to a lay people audience.
And this team was a good team from the start. You could see that right off the bat. They had the passion to really follow this trail and take the bumps and the successes as they went.
And by going through that journey, they're coming up with some really good stories, some of which they're sharing in their blogs, but those same stories will open doors for them as they go off and they interview for positions in the space.
We got to meet with some really cool people and we learned quite a bit.
What I found out was like they went through some of these similar problems that the team is going through now, and they also, a lot of them acknowledge like they don't know everything, and that was a really like humbling experience for me.
It does my heart good to see you guys doing this kind of coding.
I mean, because this is an obvious showstopper.
Making game engines is a viable thing to do, even for small teams or individuals.
Okay, if you just keep pushing at something and pushing and working with people who also are trying to get there and trying to understand, you will eventually understand the topic that you're trying to do.
And I think it was overall a very successful semester. It all came together in the end.
When people go on to the game dev forums on Reddit and they find people who ask, hey, I want to learn about how to program game engines, I want to eventually work for Unity or whatever their motivation is, that other people will send them a link to Isetta.io and say, hey, this is a great place to start.